Hey guys, thanks for coming back. This is going to be part 2 of the Google Map review of the Kansas City metropolitan area. If you have yet to see part 1, go ahead and take a look at that one. That one, we covered the entire Northland, or what's called Kansas City North. This second part, we're going to jump into South Kansas City, and we're also going to cover a bit of Kansas on the Kansas side as well. Definitely take a look at that. As always, reach out to us, let us know how we can help you and answer any questions you have. Para mi comunidad hispana, en este video vamos a hablar un poco de la área metropolitana de Kansas City, Missouri. Vamos a estar hablando de la sección que es el sur del río, y también vamos a estar hablando un poco de las ciudades en el lado de Kansas. Si a este momento no ha visto la parte número 1, en donde hacemos revisiones de la área norte del río de Kansas City, Missouri, por favor ve y revisa eso. Muchas gracias.
Okay, this is basically just a quick review of what the Northland is about and what it looks like. So let's go ahead and go and do South Kansas City. As you can see, you're basically running this area right here. Okay, that's going to include downtown Kansas City. So here's downtown Kansas City, and then you've got the different areas of town. You got Blue Springs, Green Valley, Lee Summit, Lake Winnebago. There is Lake Lotawana, Hickman Mills, Grandview, Belton. There's Raymore down here. That's a little bit further south, but it's still popular. Raytown, Unity Village, Independence, Sugar Creek. These are all really good areas, okay? But obviously, like any area, they've got a lot to offer. So let's dig into a couple of these, okay? So Kansas City, right? Here's your Kansas City's broken up. Here's another major highway I probably didn't touch base on. A lot of the city is broken up, okay, by these lines right here, okay? A little wiggly, if you will, okay? Okay, so those 3 lines are basically, you've got the border with Missouri and Kansas, and then you've got 71 highway, okay? And then you got 435. It's just, for me personally, it's just a little bit easier to break this up, okay? So that's kind of broken up into what would be like downtown Kansas City and a little bit of the south area. I think this is going 71. This might be down here like on 80th Street. And then, you know, this would be like by the river, it'd be like First Street or what have you. Okay. All right. So that's kind of in a nutshell how I break this down. Okay. So let's dig into this a little bit more. Kansas City, you got the different neighborhoods. You got the Negro League Baseball Museum, a very cool place to go look at. You got the World War I Museum and Memorial. And a cool little thing about that is that it is the largest World War I museum that around, okay? Because of the way it looks, most people just think it's this large tower that's lit and it oversees Union Station. But the way it's structured, people don't pay attention. It's a huge, basically underground museum. So I recommend everybody to take a look at that. It's very enjoyable. So if you keep going a little bit further, let me backtrack a little bit. This area right here, called Power and Light District, this right here, okay, this was built, I think it was like it opened up in like 2007, I believe, somewhere in that neighborhood. So this right here was a huge revitalization area. A lot of old buildings were knocked down. You got the T-Mobile Center. It's just a big indoor arena. You got all of this area right here is a bunch of restaurants and nightclubs. So there's a lot to do in this downtown area. We've got a lot of hotels. It's a really cool area, okay? Okay, you keep going further south, you hit the crossroads, downtown Kansas City. the Kaufman Performing Arts Center, if you're into like musicals and opera and things of that nature. This right here, Town Topic, you can see from that picture, everybody in town knows what this place is. This is the quintessential place to go grab some greasy burgers, at any time of the night, but at any given time, if you think you're going to go out there around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, you're going to wait a long time. Very popular. The Crossroads District, this is another area that's gotten super popular over the years. A lot of condominiums, a lot of these older buildings have been converted. Union Station is is close by. I'll show you here in a second. So this over here, super popular, great area. Southwest Boulevard takes you into Kansas. Okay, but even on the Missouri side over here, it's very popular because you're very close to Kansas City, the downtown, older neighborhoods, but it's completely been revitalized. You'll look at properties there and you'll be surprised for the amount of money that they're being sold for, because a lot of people will come in, tear them down and build $1 million homes in there. Very contemporary, very cool, very nice. And then the ones that they don't, they get refurbished and they just look really cool. They're really nice. It's a great area to purchase, and if that's your thing. So this down here, Union Hill, Penn Valley Park, that's one part of the Metropolitan Community Colleges. Hospital Hill, Beacon Hill, all these are really great areas to live in, go visit, to party in, restaurants. Keep going further south, and then you come into 31st Street. And you'll see over here, there's the TV antenna. Okay, you look up in the sky, you see massive TV antennas for public television. And it's a good marker because you know you're right off of Main and 31st Street. So keep going a little bit further south and you hit what's called Hyde Park. Now, Hyde Park is this area, north, central, and south. This whole area and surrounding neighborhoods have really old homes, very large homes. They're very popular now. It's a great area to live in, and you'll see a lot of refurbished homes. You'll see a lot of refurbished apartment buildings, a lot of out-of-town investors. It's a really cool area. You get down here a little bit further south, you've got these other neighborhoods, Manheim Park, Squire Park, Southmoreland, Westport, Old Westport. Also, if city living and being in an urban area that's up and coming and is on the cutting edge of design and people and that generation in your 20s and 30s and 40s where you want to be it and be downtown in popular areas, this whole area is where you want to be. You start going a little bit west over here, you hit Westport. Westport was well known, and still is. There's a lot of bars and restaurants in that area. It used to be, I would say, probably the most popular area before Power and Light area came up. So you can see a lot of these. They'll have a lot of breweries and restaurants over here. They're very well known. There's actually a restaurant out here. It's been around for like over 100 years. It's just basically a place to go in and have some beers. That's Westport in. So this area down here, a lot of cool shops, a lot of cool restaurants, very popular area to be in, particularly if you're in your younger years. Let's go a little bit east on here, 71 Highway. You get to 71 Highway now. So a lot of the gentrification that's taken place has gone east of Main. It's butting up against 71 Highway over here, but you still find some pretty cool areas and properties that you can get really bargain deals, particularly in some of these areas over here. You're going to go ahead and you can find some really old school homes. You know, there might be 5 bedroom, 6 bedroom, 3 bath, a couple thousand square feet, if not more. And really nice areas. You'll see a lot of these homes refurbished, and people are starting to populate these areas over here. So everything's kind of moving west. A lot of these areas, Ivanhoe, Oak Park, Vineyard, very affordable in some areas are not. You'd be surprised the kind of prices some of those homes are going for. You start going a little bit further east, this area on Independence Avenue cuts across, obviously into Independence, it cuts into 24 Highway, okay? You go south of here, this area is right here, basically going to be part of your urban core. A lot of these properties, the areas, you get a lot of rentals, you get some areas where, you know, they're not the very best neighborhoods, but they're still very affordable. I have a lot of clients that buy properties in that area because they're affordable. But then you've got some pockets close to the medical school. Okay, I wanted you to just take a quick look. I wanted to talk a little bit about the medical school, the School of Medicine. Oh, here, this is an area that shot up in the last 10 years, somewhere in that neighborhood. So this whole area right here, somewhere around 10 years, maybe it's a little bit more. Maybe if we come down here a little bit more. This whole area right here is really shot the roof, including this corridor, maybe a little bit further south. I'm pretty sure, at least from what I've been told, it has a lot to do with the medical school over here in these universities. So a lot of these areas have been built up quite a bit to where you'll have these gorgeous homes, all new construction, and you're looking at homes like $600,000, $700,000, $1 million. If that's your thing, urban living, contemporary homes, this area is very popular. Okay? In a nutshell, that is basically South Kansas City. Let's go a little bit further south. There's some areas down here that I also I need to touch base with. So we get a little bit further out east. Okay, here's I-70, like we talked about. You grab that, you keep going, you'll end up in New York. Here's the 435 we talked about earlier. Okay, so at this intersection right here, okay, you're going to see Kauffman Stadium and Arrowhead, or GEHA Field at Arrowhead. So Kauffman Stadium is where the Royals play, and Arrowhead is where the Chiefs play. So this right here, we keep going east, Independence, Sugar Creek, all very popular areas, older neighborhoods, older areas of the city, but still very popular. You keep coming down here, you hit Raytown, very popular. The City Zoo and Aquarium, highly suggest you go and see if you can. You keep going a little bit further east, okay, we're going to run into Lake Tapawingo, Blue Springs, Grain Valley, Oak Grove. So this over here is similar like when we were talking to Northland. You start getting a little bit out of town, but if acreage and horse farms and things like that are what you want, when you get to these outer areas, it's really not that bad of a drive. Okay, start going a little bit further south. Unity Village, Lee Summit, super popular area, great area, lots and lots of new construction. It's off of the major highway, so this area is super popular. Keep going a little bit further south, you hit Grandview, Greenwood, Lake Winnebago, Raymore, Belton. Very popular areas, a lot of new construction, a lot of new neighborhoods. This area over here on where it has 470 runs through, you see Hickman Mills, Ruskin Heights, older neighborhoods, working class neighborhoods, but super popular, very affordable. So that in a nutshell is Kansas City, the Northland. So we covered the Northland, we covered South Kansas City. Okay, so now let's move over to the Kansas side. So obviously, because you got Kansas, Missouri, there's a certain level of rivalry between folks in Kansas and Missouri, whether one's better than the other, so on and so forth. But I'm sure you get the same thing of that in border cities or border states and in different areas. So let's go ahead and do let me outline this for you. When we get something, here's the river, we talked about earlier. The river comes through, okay, over here, it separates it, and then it just goes down State Line Road. This over here is Missouri, but then this over here is all Kansas, okay? I'm a Missouri Northland guy, have been for 38 years. So, but that's just me. So let's dig into this part a little bit more. There's really a lot of good stuff over here. So directly across Kansas City, Missouri, you have Kansas City, Kansas. So what's the difference? Kansas City, Missouri is a lot larger, a lot bigger area. Kansas City, Kansas is smaller, but most people get confused between Kansas City, Missouri and Kansas City, Kansas, but there's really not much to it. One's Kansas, one's Missouri, but it's literally right across the river. Half a mile, quarter of a mile, you can see it in the distance. Okay, so that's going to be the first city that you're going to come in, Kansas City, Kansas. It encompasses a pretty large area. I go through it just about every single day. So there's not much of a difference between Kansas City, Kansas and Kansas City, Missouri, except one state, one's in the other. So over here, all of this area over here, what they call Strawberry Hill, it overlooks the river and you can see over into Kansas City. Okay. Same thing on Kansas City. The downtown area is basically built on a hill. So you have these bluffs, you can look over onto the Kansas side. Strawberry Hill, very popular area. It's also a area that has a lot of older homes. The same thing like on the Missouri side when we were talking about. There's a lot of refurbishing going on. It's a real popular area. I really like it. I grew up in New Jersey, so the old homes is what I like. That's what I grew up in. I like contemporary, but I like these older homes that are brought up to date and completely refurbished. So you've got a lot going on in the Strawberry Hill area. Let me break this down for you. Okay, so State Avenue comes from way out west over here, cuts across. Okay, here's 69. Okay, here's I-70. And here's 635. 635 is a unique little roadway. It takes you on the Missouri side, it starts, and then it finishes just over on the Kansas side. I take that all the time, okay? That's Kansas City, Kansas. Okay, but there's tons of neighborhoods over here. All this area over here, very affordable. There's large working class areas, but then there's also a lot of areas where new subdivisions are popping up. We've got a lot of neighborhoods where the areas have been refurbished. These Quindaro Bluffs over here, there's a lot of areas because they overlook the river. A lot of older homes, there are pockets of older homes that have been refurbished, and I'm totally flabbergasted at the price that they've been getting for them. But a lot of great areas. We keep going west, we're going to end up over where you have over here says the Speedway. All right, so let's dig into this area over here a little bit more. Here's 435. Okay, 435 comes, remember I was telling you, it makes a circle all around Kansas City. Okay, so on one of the stops, this area right here, which is the Speedway and the Legends Outlet, this area right here was developed, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago. It's a large area. If NASCAR racing's your thing, we got you covered. Hollywood casinos over there. We dig in a little bit more over here. There are Bass Pro Shops over here, a lot of shopping, Nebraska Furniture Mart for you folks that come from a lot of those larger cities where you get a lot of furniture and mom and pops and small regional stores. Nebraska Furniture Mart is right here. It's a one-stop shop for just about everything you need for inside or outside the home. Okay? It's pretty impressive. The Legends outlets, outlet malls, tons of shops and bars and a lot of nighttime entertainment. So over here's Children's Mercy Park. Sporting KC is the soccer team. So this area is very popular. Same thing, you start going out a little bit further west, okay? Then you start hitting Piper and Leavenworth, Pacer, tons of land over here, a lot of building going on, a lot of new subdivisions. So there's a lot of growth in these areas, the further you go out. So if we start going a little bit further south from here, okay, but closer to the Missouri side, you're gonna hit right on the border, you're gonna hit a bunch of these towns over here, these cities that are super duper popular. So we get over here, I highlighted a couple areas: Fairway, Mission Hills, Roland Park. You're getting into some very exclusive areas over here: Mission, Prairie Village, Leawood, Overland Park. Go a little bit further south, Lenexa, Olathe, Lake Quivira, Edwardsville, Bonner Springs. These are all super popular areas. These areas right here, there's a real big concentration of businesses and restaurants and everything else you would think for a thriving city. Let's dig into a couple of these areas a little bit, because you can see there's just tons of neighborhoods. I mean, this is a real popular, a lot of out-of-town folks that moved to Kansas City, like living on the Kansas side, just for, it's a lot newer area. There's more new construction. There's tons of shopping center and malls. There's Oak Park Mall. That's a big area over there. We've got newer areas and older areas, new construction, a lot of refurbished homes. It's definitely something that has for every budget. Keep going further south, you hit Hallbrook Farms, Leawood South, Deer Creek. So a lot of these areas that you see down here, a little bit further south from Leawood, Blue Valley, New Century. Now that you start getting over there in Gardner, New Century, super popular areas, but now you're getting a little bit further south from Kansas City, just like some of these outlying areas I talked about earlier. So if you don't mind the drive, it's not that big of a deal. In a nutshell, that right here is Kansas City metropolitan area.
All right, guys, so this is going to conclude part 2 of the Google Map review of the Kansas City metropolitan area. Hopefully you guys had an opportunity to see part 1. If not, I suggest you guys take a look at that because it'll give you a really good overview of both of these, of the entire metropolitan area. So our plan is to do this Google Map review of all the cities in the metropolitan area. So if there is one that you guys are focused on or interested in and you haven't seen it on our channel, just reach out to us, let us know which city you want. It doesn't take a whole lot of effort to go out and do something like this. And if it's something that you want, a particular house or a particular neighborhood as opposed to a city, we can do that as well. We're here to serve you in any capacity that you guys need and you want in order to make your next purchase. So my name is Fernando Marquez. I am a licensed real estate agent with United Real Estate Kansas City. We get calls and emails from people like you all the time looking for information about Kansas City and the metropolitan area and particular neighborhoods, homes, certain price ranges. We're here to serve you guys and provide you all information that you need and want in order to make your next purchase. So that could be upgrading, downgrading, first-time buyer, relocating, land for your forever home, investment properties, which is something that we do a lot. I do a lot of investments personally. We have a lot of rentals. We flip. We used to wholesale, not as much right now, but we've got the experience to basically cover all the needs that you guys have at this point or in the future. We're always learning more, but we've got a lot of information that we can share, and we help out a lot of people and looking to help out a lot more. So if there's anything you guys need, definitely reach out to us, send us a text, an email, a phone call, and one of the best things is you can set up a Zoom call. We can talk face to face. I can share my screen, share information with you guys that you want. We can do video walkthroughs of properties. So we're catering to anything and everything that you guys need to make your next purchase as smooth as possible. So do not hesitate to reach out to us. We're looking forward to having a conversation with you guys. Para toda mi gente hispana en Kansas City o que aquí están pensando en mudarse para Kansas City, no duden en comunicarse con nosotros. Me puede pasar un texto, correo electrónico, una llamada o hacer una llamada estilo Zoom para poder conocernos a nosotros por primera vez. Tenemos varias personas en el equipo de nosotros que hablan español y son licenciados en ambos estados, en Kansas y Missouri. So estamos aquí para servirle a ustedes en cualquier capacidad que tengan. Adios. Thank you, everyone. Hope to talk to you soon.